Hello, I'm John, and this is the 9th episode of In the Kingdom, where Jesus compares the kingdom of heaven to some concrete images that we can more easily understand. In the kingdom of heaven, not everyone is the exact same. And this isn't a claim about God's love, but rather about the talents, skills, and abilities, interests, and passions that God has given each one of us. I don't have the same interests and abilities as you. And you don't have the same interests and abilities as anyone else who's going to watch this video, or anyone else you know. For example, God has given me a passion and an interest and a talent for collecting and sharing information about old guns of the past, such as this Yugoslavian Mauser from the 1940s. We'll come back to that a little bit later. As another example, I'm going to talk about my girlfriend Chloe. God has given her this amazing passion, heart, and talent for caring for animals. We'll come back to that later as well. Our parable today is about what 3 men were given, and what we can learn from how they treated their responsibilities. The one thing that you need to know before we read our text today is that a talent is a unit of measurement for a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money. 1 talent is about 10,000 days' wages, or think about the average worker, what they would have made in about 30 years. So let's get into the text. Today we're going to read Matthew 26, 14 through 30. For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, another 2, and to another 1. To each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. Also he who had 2 talents went and made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of whose servants came and settled with them. And he who had received 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, so I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Also, he who had made the 2 talents came forward saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I have made you 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also, who had received the 1 talent, came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping what you have not sown, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here is what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and that I gather where I have scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own, at least with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. And to everyone who has, more will be given. And to he who has not, what he will have will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So the master, who represents God, gives each of these men a portion of his wealth. The first 2 invested it and came back with positive gain, but the final servant is lazy and turns no profit. I'd like to focus on a few things here. First, God gives out abilities and opportunities according to what people can handle. We see that the master did this. He gave it out according to their abilities. Second, when the master demonstrates that they are capable of caring for a small amount, of what the master has, he says that he will give them authority over much more. Finally, the third servant was lazy, and he did not invest what he had. So let's go back to the two examples that I gave in the beginning. I have a passion and talent for collecting and sharing info on military surplus guns. That is something that God has given me. I have the responsibility to use that to serve him. So I've been working over the past several months to do this. It's still very small, but it's a way that I can glorify God by reaching out for him that fits into a passion and talent that God has given me. I am faithful over a little, and I will be given much more authority and power over what I have been doing. I've just been doing small YouTube videos and running an Instagram page that talks about guns, and in doing that, I'm hoping to reach out to people who would not otherwise be interested in the message that I have relating to God. I also talked about my girlfriend, Chloe. God gave her a passion and ability for helping animals, and she does that. Right now, she can hardly pet a cat without giving it a full physical exam. And right now, she's still in school. Well, it's a lot of work. Her responsibilities right now aren't very heavy. If she makes mistakes, it's not going to cost an animal their life. However, if she is faithful in the little things right now, God will give her abilities and opportunities to serve him in the future and care for his creation. When we are faithful over a little, God gives us authority to effect much more. This is the same way in your life and the lives of all of my friends and family who have chosen to honor God and be a part of the kingdom of heaven. So now I want you guys to keep this going in the comments. It's not bragging because you're not talking about yourself, but what God is doing through you. What has God given you to be faithful in, and how are you being faithful in it? It may seem like something small, but God asks us to be faithful in these small opportunities so that they can grow into much more. So tell us how God is asking you to be faithful right now and how you are obeying that. It may seem like it's small to you, but God is going to do more than you can anticipate with it. I can't wait to see all of your responses. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of these videos, like and subscribe. And I will see you on Wednesday when I do my Preaching in Pajamas video, where we will be reading the first part of Amos.